Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pull Up 3. I am Paragon Don,
I'm Jamae.
And I'm Jay Trent.
and today we are here with Kenzo Fukuda, the Valkyries reporter for Clutch Points. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, happy to talk some Valkyries. It's been a little bit since the season's ended, but yeah, I'm excited to sort of break down what happened.
So, first, I guess we all have to issue our Valkyries apologies. I was only customary, and unfortunately, the new teams will get the same treatment. We had them as one of the worst teams in the league because generally expansion teams are not good. And then they decided to be the exact opposite of that. They had a very, very historic season. Honestly, one of the best expansion team seasons or inaugural seasons that I've ever seen in my life outside of like the Las Vegas Golden Knights. I think they went to the finals that year. But like any
Yeah.
other team, they blew that out of the water. The energy was good all year round. They had a Coach of the Year candidate. They had some like Caleb Thornton was the first time All Star. Veronica Burton ended up being All W second team. Like it was just so many things that ended up working for them. Um, yeah, I mean, it's hard to really find anything bad about the season that they had. Um, so you covered them from start to finish, I would assume.
Yeah.
What was there anything you seen early on that made you think this team is going to be a lot better than people think?
Yeah, I think early on what stood out to me was the coaching and the culture they kind of set. It just seemed like from the very jump, all the players were really like on board with what Natalie Nakase was putting down about being like this very defensive oriented, like we want to be killers. Like everyone in the press conferences was saying like, yeah, we want to be killers. And I think that mentality was kind of to me that was like, I don't think they're going to be bottom in the WNBA. I think that type of mentality will get you a couple of games. So I thought they were going to be feisty. I didn't totally know they were going to be like the eighth seed in the playoffs. I thought that was still like without the out of the realm at the beginning of the season. But I think just the buy-in that all the players had, especially because they were coming from all these expansion teams, they had this like chip on their shoulder. I think that was kind of discounted just by like everyone at large, because that made them just play like a million times harder, and um, also just the coaching being like they game planned really well early on. So I think that's sort of what I saw early on that made me think, okay, this team is going to be a lot more serious than it's not going to be like a we're going to sacrifice this year and try to get like Lauren Betts or AZ Fudd in the draft next year. They were from the jump like we're not tanking. We're gonna go for this. So that was what I kind of saw early on.
Um, so one of the things that we mentioned it that Caleb Thornton ended up being a first time All Star. Um, Seeing her being an elite role player with the Liberty and then really coming into her own, especially at her age, not to say she's old, but like, people usually don't kind of blossom this late in their career. And like I said, she ended up being a first time All Star. She played really well, like one of the best two-way players in the league. And then to see players like Veronica Burton, like the fact that she was cut and damn near out the league, and then ended up having the season she had post All Star break, and her run into that. What was kind of, I guess, you kind of get a land a misfit toy situation with everybody. Like the
Yeah.
Valkyries just kind of picked up everybody's scraps, and they were like, "Yeah, I know y'all may not have been necessarily like coveted, but we're gonna make you feel as desired as you need." I guess what kind of did you see in that end with the camaraderie of the team and like the growth of the individual players?
Yeah, like Kayla and like a lot of the like veteran players who kind of had been around, because it was a weird team that they built. It was like a combination of like young players like Veronica and Kate Martin and like Caitlin Chen, and then like these older players who'd kind of been around the league. And I kind of just saw like these older players were like taking them under their wing and like really giving them like this guidance and like this like togetherness. It didn't feel like there was just like one specific leader. It felt like Kayla Thornton and like Tammy and like Tiffany Hayes, like they were coming together to like as part of it was like that chip on their shoulder, but another part was like they really wanted to like take advantage of this like opportunity because I think these players like they for so long they'd been like the third or fourth option on these teams, maybe even further down than that. And like on the Valkyries, I think Natalie came in with this mindset that's like everyone on any given night can like be like the 20 point per game score or whatever. And I think they really took to that. And I think like for Kayla, that was like before the injury, like that was what like was really cool about her is because like this offense and this defense like really float around her as like she's not only like scoring, she's making a lot of the passes. She's getting the ball in the post. She's like guiding things or she's like facilitating as this like point forward. So that's like I think that aspect of like what Kayla Thornton was able to do for them was so important. And that's also why when she got hurt, I kind of thought the season was cooked. Like I thought it was pretty much like over because she was just so important to what that team was doing. They had to kind of had to reinvent themselves on the fly. So yeah, we'll get into this later because I think you guys want to talk about like protect what players they're gonna protect. But I think that alone, Kayla Thornton was like really important for them.
Yeah, that was kind of something I think we discounted when we kind of talked about what could be. And again, we'll end up discounting this when it comes to other expansion teams anyway, because that's just how the game goes. But one thing I think they maintained really well was vibes.
Yeah,
And we preach this all the time. Vibes will carry you far. Like if everyone likes each other and likes what's going on and can kind of see them, I think everyone kind of seen a place for themselves. It made it easier for everyone to be willing to either play a role or step up when needed because it's like, okay, I know I can be called on at any given point. And I feel like it really felt like they were playing for each other
yeah,
more, even more so than playing for themselves because they realized if we play for each other, we're going to win games and I'm going to get noticed in a way that I've never really been noticed before.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, it was definitely beautiful to witness. And I think Natalie having uh the reputation that she had
yeah,
prior to coming over there helped. I can imagine even if a coach was as good, if they were like brand new to the scene, things probably would have played out differently because I think getting players to buy in to a new coach is hard. But
yeah,
because you got someone who's already won two championships under a top two coach in the league, it's like, okay, I know she don't play.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm gonna have to listen to this. If I'm gonna listen to anybody, I'm gonna listen to this.
Yeah, yeah. I think that the buy-in like she had immediately just from like her resume was huge, and like I think going into the season like I just was like I was studying up on the like the season going into it, and I just read a lot of stuff that was like they're gonna take this year to rebuild or to start building things up, and like they're not gonna be that good, so they'll have a good draft pick, and they'll pick a bunch of players that are young and promising, and they definitely picked like young and promising players, but I think a lot of people were critical of the fact they took players like Tiffany Hayes or Kayla Thornton that are like or that are more like win now ready. And I think it would have just been really hard for them to go into the season with like these very professional WNBA players and tell them like, hey, well, this is just a throwaway year. I think that would have just been such a weird vibe. And I'm really glad that they went the opposite way. They were gonna compete and like be this team that like actually cares about winning. Because I think that if you want to like the thing that Natalie promised to Joe Lacob about the thing was like she wants to win a championship in the first 5 years. And if you're gonna do that, you kind of can't throw away that first year. You have to kind of set that like winning mentality, winning culture. Because some organizations are just like the Dallas Wings, like it's just a, or like the not or like the Chicago Sky, like they just don't set that winning culture, and it kind of gets like you start to see that carry over the years. So I think the Valkyries they're off to a good start. I don't know how next season is going to play out because I think they're going to be a lot more scouted. And they're gonna be. It depends on what happens in free agency and like this whole expansion thing. But I think they have a good building block moving forward.
I think speaking of like saying that teams might have, the scouting report on them going into next season, one of the reasons I felt like they were able to stack up as many wins as they did is because as a team, they were so difficult to scout. Because, like you said earlier, they were in a position where anybody can go get 20 tonight.
Yeah,
Like I remember, I think it was Timmy Fagbinley saying we're a team full of six women.
yeah,
So it was
yeah,
like you go into the game saying, I mean, we know what all of these players are capable of, kind of individually, but in any given matchup, they say, okay, well, we can hyper focus on this player because of who her matchup is going to be tonight.
yeah.
Like, so I think the way that they were able to create advantages kind of worked in their favor.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge I'm like kind of thinking about this next year. Just because like in that Minnesota Lynx series when like they got swept, it was kind of competitive. I didn't think it was the most competitive in that first game at least. They were completely like taking Veronica Burton out of, like the whole like offensive flow. Like they doubled her, they blitzed every pick and roll. Like they made it really hard for her, and it's because like she was there. That was like at that point in the season, like that was their only option on offense. So I think next season it's going to be interesting to see how Veronica kind of takes that leap, just because like she took a leap in the season to become like this starting caliber point guard that's like pretty elite on both ends. But I think next year it's going to be interesting to see like how teams game plan her and how like Natalie and her sort of like attack those game plans because again like they had a huge scouting advantage just for the fact like even down to like team chemistry. Like they just had no the other teams only had like this season for tape to like look back to. Like they didn't really look back on like Kayla Thornton on the Liberty. Like wasn't enough tape on them. So I think next year it might be. I actually wouldn't be the most surprised if they took a step back just because of like the things that like the circumstances. But yeah, I think that'll be something to look for moving forward.
One thing I can see is with the whole league basically being a free agent next year, I can see as long as they desire them being able to retain majority of the players that they had because I can just imagine that one, the feeling in the locker room sure felt amazing. And then two, just the vibe. And two, the feeling of being wanted. Probably
Yeah,
this is some of these players' first time really feeling like, okay, like this is a home for me. And you have these young players who've been cut different places and they ended up making a roster finally and sticking with that roster full time. Um, and really getting these minutes and these burn. I would imagine it would be really hard for a lot of these players to justify like, okay, if I leave this place, I don't know what I'm getting into. But I think
yeah,
with them, most of these players staying, they kind of know, okay, I know what this locker room is going to be like. I know what this coach is going to be like. I know what the vibe is going to be like. And we can, even if we do take a step back, we can be competitive at the very least.
yeah, definitely. And I think like I don't know what's happening at all. Like I don't think anybody in the league knows what's happening with the whole expansion draft. I think there was like grumblings that like the Valkyries could maybe be exempt from that expansion draft portion because like they were already all these players were already drafted last year, so it'd be kind of like messed up to make them like move again. I think the joke we kind of had in the writers' room was like if they don't protect Kate Martin, I think every single expansion team for the next like 5 years is gonna pick Kate Martin because she's a fine basketball player, but she also there's the element of like she just sells tickets. So if the Valkyries don't protect her, then like let's say like I don't know, Toronto picks her and they build it up and they don't protect her. It's just gonna keep going on. So I don't know what's happening with that, but I definitely think the players want to come back. Like Tip Hayes, like she came out of retirement to play for Natalie, and now she wants to like keep playing for her. So I think like all the players kind of want to run it back and to a certain degree.
What were some of your favorite players to watch throughout the season? I know All these players came from a lot of different circumstances. I really liked the way Janelle ended up playing. Um, I can see her being successful for a really long time. And then this is kind of my aces bias, but of course, repair. In fact, she won a championship with us in 2022, and then now she really made staked her claim with the Valkyrie. It's like, okay, I,
Yeah.
y'all really doing y'all thing out here.
Yeah. I liked repair a lot. Like there, that was the other thing that like saved them like when Kayla Thornton went down because like when she came back from like overseas like it was right around when Kayla Thornton went down so like I think the offense just completely like there was some crazy like number where it was like the offensive rating was like 10 points higher when she was on the floor than when she was not so I liked watching her play. I think they're definitely going to protect her. Seeing Veronica Burton's leap like throughout the season like was cool. Like at the start of the season she just kind of looked like a point guard and then she sort of turned into more of like a on-ball like creator and like being able to run that pick and roll and really run the offense. So that was really fun to see. Um, Kyla Charles also in the second half of the season was really fun to watch. Like she basically came off of like because they had all these injuries and everything, so she was like there or like on like the emergency like contract or whatever. She was a revelation. I can't believe they found her off like the scrap heap essentially because she like ended up being their starter in the playoffs. Her defense was really good. Her offense was like way more advanced than I thought it was gonna be for them because she like there's certain games where it was like nothing could happen and then Kyla Charles would like get a layup or like bulldoze her way for like a jumper or something. So I there was like no one on the Valkyries I was like bothered by watching. Maybe early on in the year like Stephanie Talbot was a little difficult to watch. She's a very nice person, but there's a reason why there's a reason why they cut her for some of the players they I think who they cut her not for Caitlyn Chen. But they there's a reason why they had to like cut her. But yeah, I think their offense was pretty. There were times when it was like super like just a drought and like it was really hard to watch. But when it was really flowing and like the ball was moving, like it was a fun off. Especially when like they're hitting threes, like the crowd like would go crazy when they hit threes. Like it was so freaking loud. Like a Kate Martin three felt like it was worth like 5 points because the crowd would just go like crazy. Like it was awesome.
That's really funny. I think Kyla Charles was one of my favorite players to watch. Like even in her stint with Dallas, like I thought that I get why they had to let her go. I get it, but I was like, I don't think y'all should have let this lady go. And then for the Valkyries to pick her up and immediately, like, I think with Dallas, there were like some growing pains, a little bit of like doing too much. But I feel like as soon as she started playing for the Valkyries, all of that went away. It was suddenly like, oh, I can't really make any mistakes. I am good at basketball. And so that was like a really fun art for me to watch her play. Um, to Fever bias, Timmy. I mean, I always knew Timmy was a really good player, but I think she had that one game where she had like, was it against the Sparks? I
She
don't
had
know.
a
She had
couple of
like,
big games with the Sparks, yeah.
yeah, she just like had a really solid defensive game, and she always like brought energy to everything that she did, and so that was also really it was really cool to see her like get the opportunity to do more on a team that like
Yeah.
not to say the Fever didn't need her, but like that needed that the team that needed her and to
Yeah.
do being able to show a little bit um more of what she can do without going outside of without asking her to be something that she's not. Um and at which I think kind of happened with the Fever a little bit. And of course, Atisha Ama here.
Yeah.
Um she's always been my fave. She like really struggled in Atlanta, and so it was really cool to see her find her footing. I was very questioning Natalie because I felt like her minutes were like it felt like it was a similar arc to her Atlanta days. Like she would get minutes and then like sometimes she wouldn't get minutes. It was definitely better because she was getting a lot more minutes, but just to see her like being able to get in a game, change the game completely, Um, and she's not even playing, these huge minutes, right? Like these are 15, 20. Maybe she get 25 minutes one time, but relatively low numbers. And her just being able to go out there and like show that she could be useful and being able to show how versatile she is as a player.
Yeah.
That I feel like was really fun for me to see throughout the year.
You weren't the only one sort of wondering about Letitia Mihir's minutes. I know like a lot of Valkyrie fans were mad about it, but I was also a little bit like there were stretches in there where it's like they got nothing going. Just throw her out there for 5 minutes. She's gonna at least like get around the bucket. And like she had this one play, like I think like they were killing the Sun, like I think it was Connecticut Sun or whatever. Like they were killing them, and I think she had like a breakaway. So she went for the dunk. She missed, but she probably could have got. I think she got nervous because like it was like this is their only time you're ever gonna be able to do this. But I think she probably could have hit it like if she got another chance. Like she
Yeah.
legitimately got over the rim and was about to like slam it. Just kind of slipped at the end. But yeah, no, she was a really good find this season.
Yeah, I'm an Atlanta Dream fan, so I I remember liking Letitia and me here when we made that selection, and I kind of figured that it just wasn't going to work for her in Atlanta, but I was glad to see, Golden State give her a shot because I felt like the talent was there, especially defensively. Like even when she would get her limited minutes with the Dream, she was like a game wrecker
Yeah,
defensively. Like she's so mobile, she got active hands, she could protect the rim. So there was so much that she could do defensively, and that goes so far in terms of creating possessions, like getting out in a fast break. So I was glad to see her go to Golden State and get that opportunity.
yeah, yeah. She was good. I think that here's the thing. I think that like they're probably not gonna be able to protect her, so she's probably gonna get picked off by like the Toronto Tempo and just go back to like Canada because I think she kind of hinted like she wouldn't mind playing for a Canadian team in the future, which I would be
Yeah,
happy for. She was a really fun Valkyrie. A lot of Valkyrie fans really vibed with her. Like she was great.
yeah, she's from the area. I think she's from Mississauga, like around the Toronto area. So
Okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, again, I think Toronto's might just if the Valkyries can't protect any or if they're beholden to the rest of the league's rules, yeah, they might get picked off. I think they because also Portland Fire, their GM is the Valkyries' old vice GM. So she knows exactly who she's gonna pick from the Valkyries if she gets the opportunity, which is gonna be funny.
Well, I guess since we're mentioning expansion, and if the Valkyries do have to play by the rules, what six players would you protect in the expansion draft?
Man, I like having this conversation. I also like having this conversation every like 2 weeks because I think kind of the sixth spot changes. Because I've been watching like some of the Euro stuff and like that rookie they drafted Yuste Yoshite. She looks really
Mhm.
good. So I don't think they can't afford not to protect her because they wasted a fifth overall pick on her. But you definitely protect Burton. You definitely protect Janelle Salon. Ileana Rupert. I think like you also protect Carla Late, like just because of what she can kind of be. She sort of found her footing later in the season, but I think they're really like excited by what she can offer. So you protect the three French people, Veronica Burton, and then it gets kind of tricky. Like I think if you ask the Valkyries, a lot of them would tell you like they would want to protect Kayla Thornton just because she's in all their part of it's like she's in all of their community outreach stuff but also like she did mean a lot to them in the first half of the season. And if they get her back healthy, then they're kind of confident they'll be able to get her back to where she was. So that's five, and then you have to protect Yoshite, so that's six. But then there's like these debates, like Cecilia Zandalicini, like she was really important to them. Like Natalie really fucks with her, like she loves Chechi, like to a crazy degree. So then and it's also like Tip Hayes, like do you protect her or do you risk like another team picking her off? I don't know what you do there. And then like Kate Martin, it's like again like Kate Martin's a really good vibe. The team loves her. She's a pretty. I don't think she's like I don't know if she's starter level, but she's definitely like a rotation player. I don't know if they're probably not going to protect her. To that point, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think that's so. I guess my six are Burton, Salon, um, Rupert, Carla Late, Yoshite, and Kale Thornton. I think that's what they're gonna do. I don't know if that's what I would do, but I think that's what they're kind of angling for.
What would you
What
do?
would you do?
I don't know if I would protect Kayla Thornton. I think I would take the risk that no one's gonna pick her up because I don't think she's like I don't think Toronto or Portland's gonna mess with like an ACL injury coming off or I don't know if it's ACL. I've heard might be an ACL injury. I don't really know. It's something in the knee. I don't know if I'd protect Kayla Thornton. I think I'd protect like um Chechi. I think I would protect Chechi because she was really important to them down the stretch of that season. Um, the Kate Martin chemistry, I don't. It's either Chechi or Kate Martin, but I don't know if I would protect Kayla Thornton just because of the injury stuff. Even though she means a lot to them.
I think that's fair. I do feel like an expansion team would be reluctant to take a player recovering from an injury like that.
Yeah, that's what they
So
have to kind of gamble on. I think like they have to gamble on like what players like does Toronto and like Portland actually want to take? Because I don't know if does Toronto really want to take Tip Hayes like at the end of her career? I don't know if that's like their vibe. Like maybe if she wants to, but she can also just be like, I'm gonna retire if you guys try to take me off the Valkyries. Like that's kind of what she's been signaling. She's like, I'm just gonna retire if like I don't get to play for Natalie anymore.
Which wouldn't be the first time that she does that. So, I mean, maybe don't want that vibe in your locker room.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I really kind of hope they are exempt because then they can kind of just like settle down and figure it out. It's also kind of annoying for the players to have to deal with this every year. Because I think like Temi, if they don't protect Temi, because they're probably gonna if they're gonna prioritize repair over Temi, like then Temi's gonna be definitely taken by like Portland or Toronto. Um, and I don't know. They really built an identity in Golden State, so it just would be really hard to see any of these guys leave. But they have to
Um,
protect the rookie. They kind of have to protect that rookie. I kind of don't know if they don't protect that rookie, I think someone else is going to take that rookie. So
yeah,
we'll see.
especially with the pedigree of being a top five pick, I
Yeah.
feel like they take her.
Yeah. Also, she's looked really good overseas. I don't know how that translates. I don't really know how a lot of the Eurobasket stuff totally translates. I think you saw with Janelle Salon, and Chechi, like it can totally work in a good system. But like they picked her for a reason. I think they part of the reason they picked her is so they could stash her and like just have like the team that they wanted with the expansion draft. Um, but I think I don't know. She looks like she could be like a high level scorer in the WNBA.
You didn't know if she's like coming over.
She should be. Depends on again, it depends on the CBA and all that junk, but she was at a Valkyries game towards the end of the season,
Mhm.
visiting for some reason. I don't know why she was visiting, but she was there, and they gave her a Valkyries jersey to kind of wear in the crowd. So that was cool. Like we got to see her. Um, I I don't. I think she'll come over. She said she wasn't coming over because she wanted to focus on Lithuanian basketball, which good for her. I think it kind of messed with the Valkyries' plans a tiny bit, but we'll see. I think she'll come over. I think she kind of has to if she wants to be in the WNBA. There's some like weird eligibility rule stuff with that. Like you have to. I don't really know. The WNBA CBA is such a mess. So I don't really know what's gonna go on with that. But yeah, I think she'll come over.
She was the one that was at the draft, right? Like she came here. Was she at the draft? Was
I
that right?
think that sounds right. I think she was there and then she flew back. Like she was there and then she flew back. Like that was the extent of it.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's I mean when she did that, I thought she was gonna. She was like, okay, I'm for sure gonna be here, and then they got the training camp, and I was like, oh, she's not coming. Okay, well, that's fine, I guess.
yeah. Well, when I saw that, I was like, dang, I thought they kind of messed up the draft at that point because they also cut Cheyenne Sellers like 2 days into training camp, which was also
Yeah,
crazy because they were there were players they draft that were drafted at like Tahina Paopao was drafted right after, and like I was like I think Tahina Paopao would have been great on this Valkyries team.
yeah.
Um, and then Caitlin Chen ended up being fine in the third round, but um, Yeah, I wanted Anissa Morrow, I think, for that fifth pick. I thought that would have been a nice little promising player, but we'll see. I think Yochite looks good, so it'll be interesting how they incorporate her next year, especially with all these like established veterans and everything.
That is
Uh,
a
oh,
I was gonna say that's an interesting point on Caleb Thornton because had you asked me 10 minutes ago, I probably would have immediately said Caleb Thornton that you need to protect her. But it's like, she is 33, coming
Yeah.
off a knee injury. I don't know how much of a uh I don't know how much teams are gonna be clamoring like, damn, I need that. So
Yeah.
you might can really I might be willing to gamble and be
Yeah.
like, I mean, if you take her, like I mean, I guess good for you. You kind of fucked
Yeah.
up for that, but whatever.
Yeah.
I I don't think I'm gambling on Kayla Thornton, and I'm only saying that because I think for the Valkyries, um, it feels to me like it worked because they had a Veronica Burton laying around, and I don't really know if any other team is gonna get a Veronica Burton.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, what you can see obviously what Kayla Thornton can do as a number one option. Um, I am curious as to the approach, right? Because I feel like the Valkyries set a bar, but if I'm an expansion team, I don't know if I'm chasing that. Like I'm not saying you walk into year one and you be bad, right? Like you want to be competitive. I do think you try to set a baseline culture. You set your vibes up. I'm all on that train, but like trying to make the playoffs in year one, I don't know. I don't know if we should be chasing that. Like
Yeah.
we talk a lot about like luck being an important part of us your season, and I
Yeah.
don't know if too many other people are getting that lucky.
They got
Um,
really lucky with Veronica. They got super lucky.
yeah, and two for Veronica Burton to again take a leap. Like she was already a good player and it was working, and it kind of kept them middle of the pack. But like she really had to step up and do a lot of things at the end of that. And I don't know how much of I don't know if you're finding another Veronica Burton. I'm like trying to think about a player that I'm like, oh, they let that person go, like you cooking with grease. But I feel like we knew that about Veronica Burton last year when we did our Connecticut review. I feel like she was one of the people that I was like, I think I might save her. Like, I don't know if I would just let her walk. And
Right.
they let her walk, obviously, and it worked out for the next man. I don't know if just thinking about all the reviews we've done so far, like I'm like, I don't know if there's anybody that I'm like, especially not a point guard. Like there are some bigs that I'm like, okay, like if Dallas let go of a walk career, all right, like we might
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
we can work with that, or I still believe in Sika Kone. We can work with that, but it's not too many guards that I feel like I'm like, yeah, she's gonna be life changing to our program. Um, And so I would be scared to lose KT. I do agree with Veronica. Janelle Salam was not my favorite player to watch, but you have to keep her as well. KT, I agree with you about their fifth pick. I can't pronounce her name, so that's why I'm gonna avoid saying it. And see that's where it gets hard for me because I feel like you do have to I feel like I might keep Kate or Chechi. Um, I feel like one of them kind of has to stay because if you don't protect Chechi, she's gone.
She's gone. Yeah. No,
Like,
if you don't
yeah,
protect her, she's
it's
gone.
over.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kate Martin is your vibe. So I feel
Yeah.
like actually I might have to keep both of them.
Yeah.
Which means no Carla Late or no Repair, but
Yeah, I think
I,
I
I
think
know,
Repair and Carla get taken if that's the thing. I think
yeah,
those two like are they're just Repair especially because it's stretch big, but they're just so young. I think Toronto or Portland would love Carla Late running the show at least for year one. But
yeah. I
it's
think she'd
hard.
be, yeah,
It's hard. I think they're just again they're just gonna have to gamble on like do teams really want this player or that player or whoever? or they're exempt. Maybe they're gambling on that too. But yeah.
I
I
would.
think
I wonder though because I hope maybe that they do get skipped. I kind of for chaos reasons I don't. I do actually want them to go out there, but for fairness sake, I feel like they should be exempt. But I'm curious though because when they asked Kathy like about the rules, she was like nothing's changing, and I'm like I don't know if I hate to say this about Kathy. Actually, I kind of don't, but it don't seem like she really thought about the rules that she put out.
She don't think
Especially
about
because
anything. She doesn't think about anything but money, man.
my girl is a mouthpiece. They don't tell her nothing, and so she just be falling on the sword.
Literally. Yeah, she's gonna be I think that she's gonna be gone after they negotiate this thing. It just sounds like they're gonna, that's it. They'll say goodbye. I don't think that's like speculation anymore. I think there's reporting that's like she might be out after this. So I don't know what I don't think they've thought the executives don't know anything about it. We've asked the team like, you know what's happening with the expansion draft? They're like, no. So clearly nothing's being communicated right now. So they're probably gonna make it up in the next like we have like when's this CBF to be doing like the end of the month? Like
In
next like
3 weeks. Yeah.
yeah, like it's such a mess. Like it's hard for Portland and Toronto to plan anything when they don't know what the heck they can do. So yeah, it's
I,
I can go
I
into
definitely feel bad for
yeah,
them on that end.
yeah, no, it's a mess. It's super frustrating, especially with the Valkyries too, because like they're the team that I think is gonna get picked off like not the most, but like they have players
yeah,
that you can pick off. So
I
yeah.
feel like my six is gonna be really like forward big heavy. Um, I think you go, or I think for me, Veronica Burton. I think I'm gambling on Kayla Thornton. I was convinced by that argument, so I would gamble. Um, their fifth pick, um, Janelle Rupert.
It's 5. Yeah.
no,
Oh, is that five or four? I thought that was four.
no, he's
That's
at
5
four.
because you
Uh,
said,
He didn't include KT.
oh, you not. I'm not. I'm my bad. I included
oh,
Kenneth
was it
Thornton.
4?
So is
Yeah,
Veronica? So you said Veronica Burton, Eustace Cite, Ileana
Repair,
Repair, and
Salon.
Salon.
oh, Janelle Salon. Okay, so that's 4.
The four, yeah, yeah, four.
And
Yeah.
then LA and Cecilia.
LA. Wow, LA.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, look, because
Dang.
LA is for. I mean, I don't. I was curious about that too because I'm like, is LA? She is on their thing. She's definitely getting picked up for
Yeah,
sure.
she's getting picked off if they don't protect her. Toronto's taking her for sure because of the hometown thing.
Yeah,
Um, and she wouldn't mind it. I think that's the one thing.
I think LA, you may have to have a conversation with her, like
we're keeping
in
you just to
and
portray
and
value.
in good
No,
faith, in good faith. How bad do you want to go to Toronto?
because we'll
How
keep you,
bad?
or we could get you to that Toronto.
That's
Oh man.
insane.
Because
Yeah.
I think honestly, with if if it's like if you were a top team in the league, I think that's not really the time to be nice. It's like, nah, if I keep you, you gotta play. Like, but because I need you. But like, if they not contending for a championship, I think this might be the time where you may be able to garner some goodwill and be like, oh yeah, they treated me lovely over there. You should play over there because you could do that. So if you talk to LA and she like, I really want to play for Toronto, you could be like, you know what? I won't protect you. See if they draft you. But you better tell people I treated you right. When free agency come back around and you got some players that are trying to figure out what to do with themselves, you better put in that good word.
I like that plan. Wow, so you guys aren't as high on Carla Late as I am. Or I don't know if I'm high on Carla Late, but I think that's what they'll do just because she's so young and they'll like
Yeah,
the promise.
I think they keep her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
It would not
because
surprise me if they keep her. I I think
Yeah.
I'm just
so
just bored and big biased.
so I'm thinking, I'm I'm thinking if you protect Veronica Burton, Janelle Salon, Eustace Cite, Ileana Rupert, let's say Carla Lake and Xander Lassini. I feel like in that scenario, Letitia Mehier and Timmy McBinley get drafted.
Yeah.
They only
Or
got
or
they're
Kate
gonna lose
Martin.
four. Well, no, they'll lose two. They'll lose two.
I think
Yeah, it'd be
is it
two.
max two, right? I don't
It's
again
two.
the expansion rules are not even
Yeah, I
I don't
think
even know what they
because you can
are.
only I think you can only select one player per team. I remember the expansion
Yeah.
draft for Golden State. I remember they just didn't pick a player from the Storm, which was
Yeah.
funny. But
Yeah. I remember
so
And
I
that.
you know
think
what?
it was like,
It's
yeah,
all
y'all good
right.
over there. Don't
It's
even worry
okay.
about it.
High key though, that might have worked out in their favor because the
No,
it
vibes was
did.
fine.
It did. It
we're
did.
They was
good. They're
like,
like, we're good.
I don't need none of them bad vibes over here.
Oh man. Yeah, no, that they were like, it's all right. We got what we got.
So so yeah, that's what I think will happen. I think it'll be LA and Timmy. So I'm assuming in that scenario, LA would go to Toronto and Timmy would go to Portland.
Yeah. Then the Valkyries would keep Kayla Thornton and
And Kate
Kate
Martin
Martin.
would,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that makes sense. Yeah. I think that's a good bet on what might happen, actually. I think that's probably how it'll lean. Because I guess if you leave certain players on the board, then it's like, oh, they won't take Kayla Thornton or Kate Martin or whoever. Um, yeah, I like that one. I think that's a good list.
Well, lastly, um, as always, everyone's favorite thing, mock drafts.
Mock drafts.
Uh,
Let's go.
eh, yeah, obviously, it is extremely early. The season is very early. But Golden State is going to take the eighth pick, if I'm not mistaken. Um, do you have either a player in mind or a player archetype in mind that you would be willing to go for at the eighth pick?
I think they need some wing depth just because like they have so many promising guards, but I think what kind of killed them in that Minnesota series is like no one could guard Kayla McBride. Like she was just a bucket on them like at will. So something along that archetype, but my limited research, I like Sarah Williams from UConn. I feel like that might be I don't know if she'll fall that far, but she looks pretty promising as someone that could probably contribute. They probably want someone who can contribute right away. I don't know if they trade that pick, but like I think they want someone who can kind of like fit in pretty quickly. You get someone from UConn that's pretty seamless for the most part. So that would be cool. Um, I think with the draft rules also that Toronto and Portland would probably pick above them, right? Is that how that works?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toronto has the sixth pick and Portland has the seventh.
Okay. They decided that already?
Yeah.
They decided that, but the top five hasn't been decided.
Oh, okay, okay. Did they do a coin flip for Portland and Toronto? Like who got the first pick?
They must have.
Probably.
They
I
must
don't
have.
think so. They just said Toronto,
But
you was here first. Toronto, Portland, you suck, girl. 7, you come.
That would be some interesting like t 10 years down the line, like if there's like a player like that's picked over before or whatever, like the what ifs on that. But yeah, I think Sarah Williams would be cool. I mean, of course, like you'd want like Flo J or like, you know, AZ, but like that's not happening. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think they'll fall to eight. Unless the Valkyries did some sort of crazy trade up, which they seem like a front office very risk adverse, so they don't want to really mortgage anything for anything in the future. They maybe they might even trade out of that pick, and this is all mute. But I think Sarah Williams would be a cool pick for them.
Well, some of the mock drafts that they have, ESPN has Sarah Williams being picked ninth by the Mystics. So
Okay, okay,
theoretically, she could be there. This ESPN one has y'all picking Yarden Garzon out of Maryland at eight.
okay. I don't know if Maryland
Uh,
messes with the Valkyries after the Cheyenne Sellers thing. Um,
yeah,
their
yeah.
dad kind of tweeted at them, which I was like, I don't blame you because that was a weird situation.
Um, Bleacher Report has y'all picking Kiki Rice at 8.
Okay, okay. Kiki Rice is I like Kiki Rice. I watched Kiki Rice 'cause I covered Cal women's basketball. I watched Kiki Rice destroy Cal back when the Pac-12 was around. So I wouldn't mind Kiki Rice.
We are hearing brand new sentences. I'm too. I, in all respect to that, it's a Kiki. I have not heard that often.
Well, Cal wasn't great. That's what I'll add that like qualifier. There was a reason why Kiki Rice was cooking on Cal. So
Um,
Cal is
take
so
it
much
on.
better. Hold on,
they're
though.
way better now. No, they're way better now.
Simon Smith got that program in order. They look a lot,
She fixed it. Like
yeah.
it was bleak when I was covering it, but it looks good now. Like it looks great now.
Tankathon also has y'all picking Yard and Grazon, and then NBADraftRoom.com has y'all getting Flage.
Okay, I thought it would
I
be
think
They at
Flage is
8.
a reasonable. I think Flage can fall at 8.
that would be pretty. I'd be down with that. That'd be pretty cool.
Now that
Especially
she'd
because
be a
the
good
Valkyrie
fit
fans are
there too.
they're already like rumoring Angel Reese to the Valkyries, some crazy trade there, which I don't know if that's happening, but the
Which
Valkyrie fans
I,
want that to
I think
happen.
she's going to another expansion team. If she goes to an expansion team, it'll be one of the brand new ones and not y'all.
Yeah,
but see,
I'm okay.
but
It's okay.
my
Yeah.
thought process would be if Angel goes to Golden State, it would be for that pick. So
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay.
that would be the way I think about it.
That
So
yeah,
yeah,
I've had debates about this with other Valkyrie writers because some are like, I would love Angel Reese, and others are like, I don't want Angel Reese. And I'm like in the middle. I'm a little bit like, I think it could work. I think they'd figure it out, but I don't know if they'd actually do it or want to give up the capital for it. But some people are like, no, she's not going to fit with the culture, which I'm kind of like, I don't know about that. I think she'd be fine. Um, but yeah, that's like the Valkyrie fans like are in my mentions about like trading for Angel Reese, and I'm like, I don't have any sources on that. Like, I could not tell you if that's gonna happen or not. So yeah.
so yeah, maybe y'all could get Flage. I mean, this one is the Sky are getting Tanai Latson at 5. Toronto Tempo would get Medina. The Fire would get Janaya Barker, and then y'all would get Flage.
Okay.
Um, so I mean, I've seen Flage as early as like 4, and y'all are like the highest at like 8. So I don't
Okay.
know. And again, this could all be moot by the time the season ends because the season is very early. We talked about this, or we talked about this a couple episodes ago, but Camilla was like a late first rounder before her senior season and the beginning of her senior season, and then she just ran through the tourney, and everybody
Yeah.
was like, actually, that.
That'd be nice
I,
to have that height. That'd be great. Yeah.
actually, she is really good at basketball. I think I can use that.
Yeah.
And then she ended up being the top 3 pick. So
Yeah. We'll see. I think like the problem is like I don't know if the rookie would play, but they'll probably get spot minutes here and there regardless. But it was a little hard for some of the younger players to find minutes early on in the season for Natalie because she kind of trusted those vets like really early on. But it'll be interesting. I'm kind of excited for. It seems like a really good draft class, so it'll be fun.
well, um, Jay, would you like to say
Um, are all hearts and minds clear? Any last words?
I mean, again, thank you guys for having me on to talk Valkyries. I haven't talked Valkyries in a while, so this is nice. It's a nice break from the weirdness of how the Warriors are right now. So yeah, it was fun to talk Valkyrie stuff. Um, and yeah, next year will be interesting. I kind of the expectations are a little bit higher, so I don't know if like this whole like an eighth seed run is gonna be like cool, good enough for them, or like if the vibe is different based on like they could have done anything this year, and I think the fans would have been happy. And the fact that they just went to the playoffs, it was cool. So I think it's gonna be interesting to monitor like what the vibe is around that next year with more expectations on their shoulders. But yeah,
I'm
thanks again
jealous
for
you
having
get
me. Yeah.
I'm jealous you get to watch Celtics and Atlanta legend Al Horford of
Yeah,
Golden State.
he's awesome. That guy's great. He's such a nice guy, and like,
I can imagine. It just seems
yeah,
like such a good man.
yeah, he's super sweet. Yeah, and he's still kicking it at 39 years old. So looking good for a 39-year-old guy.
That's my dog.
The last thing I want to say is I do want to give a lot of credit to the Valkyries GM. They poached her from New York and she got to work immediately.
Yeah.
And I do think people are really gonna try to reinvent her sauce. I don't know if it's gonna work. I think a lot of people are not thinking about the brains that went into a lot of these operations. We see it a lot when we talk about Becky, and people are like, "Oh, well, we'll just pull somebody from the NBA because it worked for Becky," and it's like, "Well, no, that's not quite how that worked." But
Yeah.
anyway, I do want to give her a lot of credit because she put together a really, really good team and
She
set the
did some
vibe
forward
up.
thinking. Like her stuff was forward thinking because she found the scouts to scout in Europe, and like they were. I think that's the thing we learned this year is like the Valkyries were way ahead of the curve on like finding international talent. So that was really good. And like she picked the coach. Like she picked Natalie. Like that was her choice. A little bit of Joe Lacob because Joe Lacob has to be involved in everything. But like she picked Natalie, and then she picked the team that Natalie needed. So I think did she win? Was there an Executive of the Year award? There should have been an Executive of the Year award, and it should have been her.
I
Atlanta
think
Um,
won.
I
I
think
oh,
give
I think
it
Atlanta. Okay, I
Atlanta's
guess
to
Atlanta had a
Atlanta's
good.
GM got it. Yeah.
I
Atlanta had a
think she
good.
was
They had a good
second though. I
possible.
think she got second most votes. I
Okay,
thought
yeah,
she would have been the person to win. I mean, they won Coach of the Year, so it's like, how can you not get the GM credit for that? But
yeah.
I think she got the second most votes, which is like, okay, I guess I
That's
got it.
yeah. Atlanta had a good. They also had a crazy offseason too, so that makes sense. But yeah, she was great. The only the only thing that Valkyrie fans would hold against her is that weird Julie Van Loo telling her when she's gets off the plane.
Yeah. See, I'm glad you reminded me that because I did dock her and Natalie because I was like, why are y'all saying this in the presser? Why didn't y'all call that lady before she showed up? I didn't like none of that. It worked
Yeah.
out for them, so I could not whack them too hard, but I was like, girl, and even cutting Cheyenne and Caitlin
They
and
cut
hey,
Letitia and they
I
brought
was
her
like,
back.
are we sure, girls? Like,
Yeah.
are we sure? It worked
Yeah.
out for them. So I do have to be like, all right, but I was side-eye all year. I was kind of hate watching them for a good bit. But then they kept beating my team. So I was like, I can't really hate. I mean, I can hate watch, but like not because I'm mad about that. So
No, yeah, it was weird. It was a weird situation. It ended up working out fine. I think they got away with it, but Valkyrie fans were furious about the Julie Van Loo stuff, which was really funny.
okay, but yeah, my mind is clear outside of that.
Well, this has been another episode of Pull Up 3. I am Paragon 9.
I'm Jamae.
Kenzo, yeah, follow me on Twitter, Clutch Points. That's why I put all my stuff.
And we are out.